Hi everybody, Matt back with you, hope you're okay. Well, today I'm edging along the top of some trees, heading to the first of two destinations that make up this video, and a storyline that goes back quite a few hundred years to around the 17th century. The spot I'm looking for at the moment is a very famous one, and it sits on the hills above Cornholme, and it's known as Eagles Crag. Now, from the valley bottom you can see why it's called Eagles Crag. The rock sticks out and looks like an eagle about to soar into the air. But I've climbed up a different route and I'm now pretty much where the crag should be. The valley bottom seems a long way away from here. So there in the distance is Eagles Crag. So here we are at the top of Eagles Crag. Wow. So our story tells of one Lady Sybil, a lady who reportedly existed in the late 1600s, so in the 17th century. She would come and sit on Eagles Crag. She would be looking at nature and the countryside and learning more and more about it. But she wished for more. This is at the time of the Pendle Witches, and she would sit here, look across to the Burnley area and wish that she could fly like a bird across the sky and join in with the Pendle Witches. One day when she was here, it said that the devil appeared to her and granted her that wish. And from then on in, Lady Sybil was tied to a bargain with the devil, and she was able to change shape, mostly into the shape of a snow-white doe, a deer, a female deer. Entering our story comes Lord William of Hallowe'en Tower, a place that no longer exists either. And he wanted to be romantically involved with Lady Sybil, but she kept rejecting him. He decided that maybe she was under some kind of witchcraft because she seemed to prefer nature to him. And he went to see a Lancashire witch known as Mother Holston. And after much witchcraft and chicanery, she said that on the next All Hallows Eve, his wish would come true and that Lady Sybil would be his. So, that All Hallows Eve, he came here hunting at Eagles Crag, and he saw a white deer. The deer started to run. The hounds that were with Lord William gave chase. There was one other hound amongst them. Lord William realised that that hound had been sent by Mother Holston. The hound caught the deer, didn't kill it, brought it to Lord William, who tied it up, took it back to Hallowe'en Tower, and surprisingly, in the morning, that deer was Lady Sybil. So that seemed to be enough to convince Lady Sybil to marry Lord William, and marry they did. And she stayed with him in Hapton Tower. But of course she'd made a bargain and a deal with the devil, and although it seemed like those magic powers had disappeared, within a year Lady Sybil was back up to her old tricks, once again wanting to be part of those Pendle Witches that she'd heard so much about. This time she was able to turn into a cat. She ended up one night in Cliviger Mill, but unfortunately the watchman of the mill was there, saw the cat, attacked it and actually chopped off its paw. Lady Sybil ended up back at Hapton Tower, but it was obviously missing a hand when she turned back into a human and fell gravely ill. In the morning, the watchman returned Lady Sybil's hand to her, and again, by some witchcraft and magic, I imagine probably from Mother Holston again, the hand was reattached, and there was always, though, a permanent red ring around her arm. Lady Sybil never recovered from those injuries she suffered, with her hand being chopped off, and actually died a short time later. Before she died, Lord William got involved in one more act of magic, and he managed to convince the devil to release Sybil from her bonds so that she could die in peace. And that seemed to happen. What followed was that Sybil was buried underneath Eagles Crag, and at All Hallows Eve every year, apparently, you can still see a white doe being chased by a hound across the valley. But it's probably for the best that you don't see it at all. Now, as much as she may have wished it, Lady Sybil isn't listed as one of the Pendle Witches, even though apparently she did join them in their revelries on Pendle Hill. But obviously she died before, well, the trials of the Pendle Witches themselves, which sometime I really must go and cover. Now, the places mentioned, Hapton Tower, existed, as did, we believe, Bearnshaw Tower. So I'm going to head over the hills and down into Cornholme and see if I can find any evidence of the remains of Bearnshaw Tower. But what became of Bearnshaw Tower? Well, apparently after Lady Sybil's death, the tower remained empty. However, despite its name, it wasn't really a tower, it was more of a fortified mansion, it's been called. And unfortunately, a few decades after Lady Sybil's demise, rumours started swirling that somewhere in the mansion, or in the tower, there was hidden gold. And it wasn't too long before treasure seekers and the like descended upon the tower, started to search through it and then eventually go down under the tower to see if it was buried underneath. Unfortunately, once so many people had done this, in 1860 the tower collapsed entirely. Now, for quite some time after that, though, merely the foundations remained, and today there's nothing physically left of the tower. There is a farm nearby, which is on top of where the tower would have been, and they've even got the name Bearnshaw Tower on it, so we'll head up there in a minute and I can show you that. But there is a little tunnel also underneath where Bearnshaw Tower was, so let's see what we can find and if we can get in there. So as we head further up the gorge, we should soon see Bearnshaw Tunnel. So, here is Bearnshaw Tunnel. So, it's typical, of course, that after nearly 2 months of a heat wave, last 2 days have been incredibly wet. So there's a lot of water coming through here at the moment. However, gotta give it a go now we're here. Wish me luck. I need it. Okay, I'm in the tunnel. Why didn't I bring my torch today? Never mind. I'm about halfway in the tunnel. Although it's not a particularly long tunnel, it's quite difficult to get up, not just with the water. But it's very steep, and also about halfway up becomes much smaller because they've put some concrete down. I've no idea if you can hear me. Let's see if we can get to the top. Wow. Okay, we're out. Alright, so that's where we've just come through. This is where we've ended up. So, I think Bearnshaw Tower was just above here. I'm finding some lovely swimming spots. That's not what we want just now. Okay, so in actual fact, I think we've missed it, because we've come out, these are Havoc Woods here. Yeah, we've missed it, it's just above there. I'll head there in a minute. I'm very soggy, so I'm just going to make myself publicly acceptable, maybe. Now these woods that I call Havoc Woods, just due to the fact that the Havoc bike tracks are through them, are absolutely stunning, and I'll come back and refilm these soon, but it's probably my favourite wood, and especially if we can catch it covered in snow. It looks like there might be some work going on at the farm, so all I want to try and do is at least show you the sign that says Bearnshaw Tower. Okay, so the building that's here, this is what's now called, I think, Bearnshaw Tower. It used to have a sign outside it with a picture of a tower on it. I haven't seen that today. But yeah, this is the general location. Not sure exactly where though. So it's a shame they've taken the sign down, but yeah, that building there is what's now on top of the former Bearnshaw Tower. Oh well. But yeah, it has been gone for 160 years. So that concludes our story of Lady Sybil, a lady who was on the fringes of being one of the witches of Pendle Hill. Almost, but not quite. What do you think of the story? Is there any truth in it? The places seem to have existed. Just remember that stories change, especially over hundreds of years. I'll see you soon, guys. I'm on the fringes of this hillside and I've got to get down safely. So take care. I'll see you soon for the next video. Bye for now.